One day while on a day trip, Sandra and I was visiting the Bunker Hill Covered Bridge in Catawba County. We noticed a peculiar looking symbol with a sign that read Carolina Thread Trail just underneath it. Now, being an avid hiker, I looked into it and learned that it was a regional network of connected greenways, trailways, and blueways that reaches 15 counties in 2 states, and that it was still growing with new trails being added. I had always wanted Sandra to hike with me and thought that this may be just the thing, so after looking at the website, we both set out to complete every single thread trail. So grab your gear and come along with us as we set out to hike or paddle every thread trail and learn with us about the history, the geology, and people of these areas. I'm sure there will never be a dull moment.
God, look at this.
I'm scared.
I thought there was a rock behind me.
Looks like this might be bear tracks. Connecting the Stanley County communities of Meisenheimer and Richfield, the Falcon Trail offers lake and agricultural views as well as access to Pfeiffer College and many historic buildings listed on the Natural Historic Register. The historic Gladstone Academy, an 1890s schoolhouse, is close to Pfeiffer's campus. The Falcon Trail is mostly natural surface and is 2.7 miles in length and is in one way. It connects to a bit of sidewalk at either end. The trail is designed for walking, hiking, running, and bicycling and is of moderate difficulty. A nice feature of the trail are the 2 adjacent bridges, a swinging bridge and a covered bridge, which cross Richfield Lake. The swinging bridge leads to an island with a picnic table. A variety of plants along that trail bloom in season. There are 2 trail entrances, one at Richfield Park and one at the intersection of US 52 and Wesley Chapel Road in Meisenheimer. There are restrooms in the gym on Pfeiffer's campus and in Richfield Park, and parking is available at both trail entrances. Richfield Park has picnic tables and other amenities, fishing and disc golf. There is a grocery store, drugstore, coffee, ice cream shop, and multiple restaurants near the trail entrances at Richfield Park. Work is underway to acquire an additional 7 miles of trail, so that trail will connect the communities of Meisenheimer, Richfield, and New London and extend from Glenmore Road north of Meisenheimer to North Stanley High School south of New London, a total of 9.5 miles. The hours of operation are daylight only, dawn to dusk. Okay, now let's look at the map here, and so I can show you exactly what we did on the trail. Where you see the start and finish at, that's where we started, and that's where we finished at. Now, over by where it says finish, we drove 2 separate cars, and we parked one at the start and one at the finish. That way, when we would just walk through, we could get in the car and go all the way back to where the other car was, instead of backtracking all the way back again. That's a nice way of hiking trails if you don't want to backtrack all the way through that, which I tend to do in the Uwharrie. But right where it says finish at, I'm gonna zoom in here. Right there where you see that thread trail parking, there is an arrow pointing to a building. That building right above there, you'll see a picture of it. That's where you park at. It's beside of the post office right there at Pfeiffer University. But that's a designated parking for that area. So just make note of that. Now, going back, we just got back on 52, and that where that finish is, if you're coming from Granite Quarry on 52, just as you're coming into Pfeiffer, you'll see that over on the left-hand side. But what we did is we got back on 52 going towards Albemarle, and we got on 49. We took a left on 49, and we you'll see the entrance of Richfield Park just past the food line and the restaurants there. It's just past that area there. You'll see it on the left-hand side, Richfield Park. You'll turn in there, and then the first road you come to on the right, you'll turn there, and then the parking area is just up the road there on the right-hand side. And you'll see that that picture above there with the Carolina Thread Trail emblem and the information board. And the information board was kind of neat because it told you distances between where you were at and certain buildings at the college. I thought that was neat. But right beside of that, you'll see that FT. Now, that FT is a blaze that they put on trees ever so often to let you know that you're on the trail. You're on the right trail. And so that's a common thing to see on trails. And each trail sometimes will have their own individual style of blaze. And so in the Uwharrie, what they do is they take paint, different color paint, and they'll paint the trees ever so often to let you know what trail you're on. And so, but that's what a blaze is. And so it's just a mark, let you know where you're going. It's like the breadcrumbs on the trail. And so just to let you know that you are going in the right way, or you're going on whatever particular trail that you're on. And so, and you can, have a map to follow by. But this is an extremely good hike. You see all types of things. You can play disc golf if you so desire. Please check out that swinging bridge, even though that it is not actually part of the trail that you take. You can still walk over to it. It's right beside of the covered bridge. You'll see that in the video. But you'll see fields. You'll go through woods, and then you'll go actually on to Pfeiffer College. You'll actually see buildings on the trail and stuff like that. And so, we did stop at the gymnasium. You'll walk right up to that. You'll see that on the video. The gymnasium, it was open. We could use the restroom, and that's what we did. And so, but it's really nice, really good. And if you have any issues or problems, Meisenheimer Police Department, their jurisdiction is that Pfeiffer University. They are on site, and so they're real close to, if you'll see my mouse here, if you look at my mouse, I'll show you. Right where you see the post office, there's a road that's right beside of it right here. If you go behind those buildings, they're right here in this area. That's where the police department is. And so, you're not too far from it. So if you have something happening, you can check that out. And I will say this, don't speed through this university. I mean, don't speed at all, or you will get a ticket. They are extremely strict going through here. If it says 25 miles an hour, you go 19 miles an hour. So, but just mind the speed limit and you'll be okay. But other than that, guys, let's go ahead and get started with this video. All right, we are at the covered bridge and the swinging bridge area. The swinging bridge is right over here, And the trail actually does go straight. You're supposed to keep going straight. But I wanted to point out these little disc golf course. You'll see this here and there on the trail, especially at the beginning of it. I don't know if it continues on, but we came from this direction. And so, but I guess you stand on the pad here and you try to get the frisbees or what have you into that area there. You gotta be careful, you'll get it into that little pond area or lake, however you want to call it. And so, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna walk this swinging bridge anyway. The what? That could be. That's neat. Okay. Boy, it sure is beautiful out here. I mean, it's pretty even though it's not sunny. Check this out. This is like something you'd see up in the mountains. That's neat. And it might, after we cross this, it might tie in.
It does, but I only walk across both bridges.
Woo-wee! Get on this thing and start bouncing. I don't want to get in any trouble doing this, but it's pretty darn sturdy. All right, well, I'm gonna walk across this one and then walk back, just to say I did it. Are you coming? Just to say we did it. The sign reads, "This wonderful covered bridge was designed, constructed, put in place by Bradford and Ruby Behringer for the enjoyment of the citizens of Richfield and all visitors to Richfield Park. Richfield Town Council would like to thank the Behringers for all they have done for our town and park. The town would like to thank Keep Stanley Beautiful for helping with the landscaping for the project, fall of 2016. And so this is a really neat bridge here. And so, but it's narrow, but it's nice. And so I can't help it. Let's get it on film. Look at this bark. It looks like saggy skin. That is weird. You see that from there? I thought it was like maybe something was wrapped around the tree at some point in time that discolored it, but no. It's like the tree is old, and instead of the bark flaking off, it's like sagging like skin, bagginess. Talk about double chins. All right, we are beside of Culp Road at C-U-L-P, headed up, and the trail just runs just right beside the road here, but I saw something I thought was neat. Not sure what it is or what it means, but it says, this sign, it says, when horn sounds and light flashes, please call this number here. And so, they what? Well, no, you can see the numbers. She thought the numbers were scratched out, so you couldn't call them. And so I was wondering, I said, well, what does that mean? Does that mean the zombie apocalypse is fixing to happen? Uh-huh. They got it locked down, whatever it is. This must have been where there was a bridge or something right in here. But I also noticed that there is a deer camera on this tree there. Yeah, they got it situated right here. I'm gonna wave at it. I think it got me. Okay, we're coming out. Sanders got to use the restroom, so we're gonna have to come out this way. Boy, is it muddy. This is where my son graduated at. Inside this big gymnasium. They held the ceremony there. Hey, walk where I'm walking right here. It's really muddy. The ground's just really saturated. But I remembered they had him on the screen walking. All of them walking. Right here, they had them on the screen, the camera. And it was so neat. The way they were walking, their heads were kind of, you know, it was just wild how they had them coming, but no, walk around. Yeah, it's too saturated. At any rate, the trail would come up this way, like this. But there's a big muddy area over there, so we're having to detour. What? I am. Anyway. Let's see if we can use the facility. We're able to use the restroom. And now we're going to go that way. I can see the sign down there. Sanders already headed that way. And so we had ourselves a little Cliff Bar snack. And we're towards the end of this thing. We got too much farther to go. All right, here's another tree that has a weird outside appearance. Man, that thing got a serious case of the mumps. Man, these lumps or bumps are so predominant, you could climb the tree. just beyond that little brush line there where we're parked at. We're right here at the end of it. Saw this real old building. I'm not sure you're going to get the inside of that. Wow, is it in disrepair? Ceiling falling all on itself. Wow. At one point in time, this was a happening place. Thriving business. We're just parked on the other side of that building there. I hope you've enjoyed the video and the hike. Please check this out. Again, another great trail, a lot of neat scenery. You're in the woods, you're seeing a lot of fields, and until next time, happy trails.